Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim, bringing you yet another grocery haul today. And this time it won't be posted on the very last day of the month, so I'm going to give myself a preemptive pat on the back for that, because, yeah, life's been challenging, but I am still doing my things, and I'm grateful that I have at least enough resources and willpower to get through my regular stuff like grocery shopping. So, with that, we're going to just dive right in. I don't have any new news for you guys this month, rather. And first up, we've got some cereal. You don't often see me buy cereal. For many, many years now, I've done one version, if I'm dieting, I've done one version of low carb dieting over another. I'm old enough to have been a college student when Atkins was a really popular diet, and it just keeps morphing, right? Like keto was the last big low carb dealio, right? And I did do keto right before the first time. The first time I was supposed to get married. As you know, or maybe remember, depending on how long you've been watching my videos, my wedding got delayed due to COVID. But I did do keto, and it works, but it's not sustainable. Not at all. Anyways, the moral of that story is that I have gotten really used to eating high fat, medium protein, low carb diets, like for years now. And to treat some of the health problems that I'm having right now, I'm doing a GERD diet for gastrointestinal stuff. And it's actually not a low carb diet. Like they suggest whole grains over like refined flours and sugar, but other than that, it's not a low carb diet. So it's weird to buy things like cereal again. But, you know, we're going to adapt, and the changes I've already made have helped with some of the things I've been dealing with. So, you know, you got to listen to your body sometimes. But moving along, this guy in a bag here, that is some sliced almonds. Good for adding texture to yogurts and salads and all the healthy things that I'm going to be trying to eat. Following that, we've got some corn nuts. It's not a common item, but I do buy them once in a while to add variety to my guys' lunches. And this variety pack has original flavor, which I assume is just corn flavor. I don't actually know. It has ranch, barbecue, and chile picante con limon as well. So, just a fun little thing. I'm hoping there's some protein in these. I didn't check beforehand. I should have. And it looks like there's only 2 grams, so that's basically a chip at that point. But, oh well. Variety. Yeah. And then I was in such a rush to start all of this that I forgot that I'm going to be playing a little bit of a mini game with myself. And if you want to play along, you can. If that's too much thinking while you're trying to go to bed, 100% okay. But basically, I try to get myself a grocery list when I do these big hauls because it's easy to just throw stuff in the cart, right? And I made myself a list. It's even broke down by which section of the store I would find these food items in. And I'm sure you can guess where this is going. I left my list at home. Dun, dun, dun. So I decided to go grocery shopping blind, in essence. There are 49 items on this list. So the game I'm playing with myself, and you can follow along if you want, is I'm going to try to figure out how many of these items I actually bought. I'm guessing out of 49, I probably got like 30 of them. That's going to be my guess. You can make your own guess, and we'll see who's right. With that in mind, I can cross off cereal. And I guess that technically counts as nuts. There's more nuts coming up. And the corn nuts, also nut in the name, are not technically part of the list, so I don't think that counts. All right, moving along. Next up is chocolate. I've got milk chocolate and dark chocolate. Christmas is coming, and I typically make chocolates for my family. And no, I don't make the actual chocolate part from scratch. I think you'll find most bakers don't. But you know, I melt it down and temper it and create things with it. A really popular one is there's a like fake Butterfinger recipe that I use that, according to most people who've tried it, tastes way better than an actual Butterfinger. So I'm like, hey, we're gonna keep making that. And then we have, let's see here, some Spanish rice. This is going to be an iffy food choice. Part of my GERD diet. GERD. Sounds so bleh. Which it is bleh. But anyways, part of the GERD diet is no tomatoes, and this does require tomatoes in the preparation, but I think they'll be thinned out enough that it'll be okay. I'm hoping. I'm still in the testing, trying phase to see what I can still eat and what I really shouldn't eat. So, I don't know if updates will be coming, but I usually tell you guys everything, so I'll let you know. Anyways, we've got some dill relish. I've been making some more tuna fish, just kind of general tuna fish salad, and eating it with crackers. It's a pretty safe meal. It's got protein, it's got a little bit of fat, it's got carbohydrates, so safe. And then here, kind of looks like just a black mass, at least to the lighting on my end, but this is some dehydrated blueberries, and that's to go with my cereal. The how do I phrase it? The luxury cereal that I sometimes got to have as a kid, but usually did not, was called Blueberry Morning, and it was basically cornflakes with dehydrated blueberry bits. So I'm thinking I got those. Blueberry Morning, I can't find it anymore. I don't know if it still exists or if that's been discontinued, but it's not in the stores that I shop at. But the cereal that I already showed you guys, it has a lot of the same elements. It has pecans, or pecans, depending on your region, instead of almonds. But it has the little oat clusters and the flakes. And I think that if I eat or add the dehydrated blueberries, it's going to feel like I'm eating Blueberry Morning again. And I'm kind of excited about that. It's going to be a very nostalgic kind of meal. And the fact that I'm, basically have been told by the doctor to eat more carbs, I'm all in for it. Now, it's not a open invitation to just eat spoonfuls of sugar and potato chips, right? That's bad. But it does mean that I can eat a bit more carbohydrates, preferably complex ones, and I'm here for it. In that same vein, I have some new crackers to try. These are the Nani's Thin Addictives Pistachio Almond Crisps. So I haven't tried this line before, but my store actually had quite a few of them. There was like a cranberry one too. But I'm feeling strangely optimistic that this might be a fun addition to my otherwise very plain, plain diet. If you've never had to do a GERD diet before, it basically takes out spices, fat, onions, and to a lesser extent, garlic, and a few other it takes out flavor. Apparently, flavor upsets your stomach. And I'm not happy about that, but I am making changes and doing the things, and honestly, having a not upset tummy has been worth it so far. I don't know how sustainable it'll really be, but we'll just wait and see on that. Our next item is some cranberries. And this is a favorite salad addition for me. I typically do cranberries, jalapeno chips, and Parmesan as my salad toppings. I might have to cut out the jalapeno crisps because they are spicy and I'm not supposed to eat spicy anymore, but I am going to still make food for my husband and try, even if I'm trying to meet my own needs, to make them good enough or flavorful enough to satisfy his. And anyways, cranberries, good for salads. Following that, we've got one lonely package of Party Animal chocolate chip cookies. And I just got these to add a little bit of variety to what my guy eats. You know, I take overly good care of him, right? To the point where I've been told by some people that maybe I should take a step back and take care of myself more. And I don't know. I like to help. I like to be of service, so it's something I have to figure out in the long run. But in the meantime, we've got some Hello Panda strawberry flavored snacks. This is another add variety to the lunches item. I won't be eating it myself. And then after that, we've got some zesty marinade, zesty herb. I know I complain about this probably every month, but I just can't get away from using these pre-made marinade packs. I've been using spices. I have lots of spices available to me, but there's something about these packs. They just hit different. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then we have some wild caught light tuna. Tuna is on my safe list for GERD foods. GERD. I'm never going to get over how, unsavory just the name of it's GERD. But we're going to move right along. We've got a lemon, or no, that's a lime. That's definitely a lime. In fact, I probably forgot to buy a lemon. I'm thinking. I think I did. But that would be on the list. Oh, I'll check that in just a second. There's one more item in the bag. So, our last item in the bag is just some avocados. Really safe way to eat some fat and kind of add a bit of umami, if you will, to a dish that otherwise would feel pretty plain because I'm taking out all the flavor for my diet. So with that, I am going to cross off the things that I have actually purchased and were supposed to purchase. And that whole list didn't have too much, but we're going to do this. Okay. And we'll move on to the next bag. Let's see what we got there. This is basically my house goods bags. Bag. Yeah, not plural. But I needed a few things, and one of them was some toilet paper, some TP, if you will, and Charmin, which is a brand that I was buying a lot of, came out with this essentials line. And it's a little cheaper than their regular stuff, and honestly, it works really well. I don't think I feel the need to upgrade to their expensive stuff anymore. So yeah, I'm glad that I've got some toilet paper. You know, once upon a time, those toilet paper was hard to get. Following that, I have some generic store brand, but Swiffer wet wipes to put on my little Swiffer. I wouldn't really call it a mop, but I guess that's what it would call itself. At any rate, when I bought the Swiffer, which was a few hauls ago, it was definitely a few hauls ago, a lot of you suggested some more efficient, better mopping tools, right? And I definitely heard you, so when the Swiffer finally wears out, I'll switch. But for the meantime, it's just easier to keep what I already have. I don't actually find the Swiffer to be a very good broom replacement. It does dust okay, but it doesn't do like any particulates. Like I often have onion skins on the ground because I cook so much. But if I need to clean up a quick spill, the wet wipes that go on there are more than sufficient for helping me clean up a random little spill. So I'm gonna keep it for now, and that pack will probably last me ages because I only just this week used up the last of the samples that came with the stick or the Swiffer itself. The final item in my home good bag kind of sounds like a maraca. It's not. This is some fragrance pellets for the laundry. I get unscented laundry soap. It's like an eco-friendly little like sheet thing that comes in the mail. But there are certain items that I wash that I kind of want more or less a laundry smell from. So these come in a pinch to add a bit of fragrance, right, to an otherwise unscented load of laundry. Next up is a pack of bubbly, which is a seltzer water that's available. It's a seltzer water that doesn't have artificial sweeteners in it, so kind of puts that above many, in my opinion. I've tried so many artificial sweeteners. Everything from stevia to monk fruit to sucralose or whatever Splenda's made out of. But anyways, this is a decent brand. I prefer Spindrift better, but I didn't get Spindrift, A, because it's more expensive, and B, this is not for me. If you saw the last video, you know that my guy now has a mini fridge at work, and he is enjoying it. He's gone through most of the first pack of seltzer water that I gave him and the yogurts that I gave him, so that's just a new thing to keep track of and stock because, you know, at the end of the day, being able to have one little seltzer water, if that's going to improve his day, that's, you know, it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile to get. So I got him blackberry flavor this time around. We'll see how he likes it. Now then, before I go too much further, if you've heard this particular doomsday clock clicking off and on in the background, I hope that hasn't been distracting. But I'm currently making some bone broth. I had a rotisserie chicken earlier in the week, and its bones and all my vegetable scraps are in there doing their thing. It takes a long time, even in a Instapot, to make good broth. But my goal is to have some very made from scratch chicken noodle soup for dinner tonight. So fingers crossed it turns out fine. It probably will. It usually does, but I don't take anything for granted these days. Even the simplest things can go wrong, right? That's just life. So our next item is some seaweed snacks. That packaging is very crunchy, and so are the snacks inside. I think what I really like about seaweed snacks is that it feels kind of similar to eating a potato chip as far as like you get some salt, you get some crunch, but one of these packs is only 25 calories. So this much by this much, 25 calories. So it's a very good little filler snack when you need a little something going on, right? Following that, we have some mint Oreos. Some of my longtime friends would know that this is pretty much my guy's favorite dessert snack outside of like homemade desserts, because he does like those a little better. But for like a processed packaged dessert thing, he really loves the mint Oreos. Next is just some regular old tissue paper. This is the little cube of tissue, which works better for where I sit on the couch. We have a bigger box that's situated near my guy's computer, so we alternate between the two based on what we're doing and what our needs are. And then we have some good old peanut butter. We really love peanut butter and celery in this household, so we eat that. There we go. Quite a bit. But also I'm going to need it when I make my fake Butterfinger candies for Christmas. So I did not, and I know I did not, get honey at the same time, which is the other really important ingredient. Also cornflakes. So I'm going to have to do more shopping for my Christmas chocolates, but at least I have that part. Next up, we've got some good old Little Debbie honey buns. This is for my guy's breakfast. I might send some of them with him home, or not home, to work. Yeah, that's the other thing. I might send some of them, though, with him to his work, because as I was kind of like laying down the bags and everything, I noticed that we still actually have a few honey buns. And even though they're a packaged product, they do go stale a bit faster than expected. So he'll eat them at work. It'll be fine. Next up, got some breakfast kind protein almond butter flavor. I'll split this with my guy because it seems like something that would probably be GERD approved. So I'm gonna eat a few of them. See what happens. And then speaking of GERD items, I got myself some green beans. One of the notes, so when I was researching what to eat, I noticed that websites, the lists were not entirely consistent. So I made like a little checklist, like how often the same phrase or the same food came up, right? And for some reason, green vegetables was a very, very common term. Like, they weren't saying eating leafy greens, which you can eat leafy greens, that's included in green vegetables, but it was just green colored vegetables. Apparently are good. So I've been eating some sprouts and some peas and some broccoli. And I got myself these little microwavable containers of green beans. It's a bit wasteful. There's more plastic than buying a can, but it does mean that I can have a serving whenever I actually want a serving. And that's, sometimes that's important too, right? Next up, we've got, what do we got? Oh, yes. I was in in the dry food bin section I was hoping to find like dehydrated strawberries. Didn't find any. But I did find some dehydrated mango. And I don't really know how I want to incorporate this. I think it's going to be like a yogurt topping. But I just got 2 little mango skins, I guess. I don't know how you would define that. I got very little, just to try it, see what dehydrated mango tastes like. And then we have some good old mixed nuts. And I love how they have to advertise, because this was a common problem. It has less than 50% peanuts, so it probably It probably has 49% peanuts, because mixed nuts are mostly peanuts. And in fact, when I look at the ingredient list right now, peanuts are the number 1 ingredient. But anyways, some mixed nuts, good source of protein, GERD diet approved, so, we're just going to eat that. Got some medium black olives. That was definitely on my list that I'll check here in a bit. Some more nuts. These ones are just plain cashews. And then we have some Israeli style couscous. So, that's a fun sound. Yikes, I kind of want to play with the bag now. I have learned recently that couscous has 2 different culinary applications. So this one is technically pearl pasta. It is a wheat-based product that is pressed and formed into little pellets, right? I'm going to put that down because I want to keep playing with it. But then there is couscous, the grain. There's an actual plant that makes tiny, and they're smaller than the pearl pasta, but it makes tiny little granules. And that is also called couscous. And the reason why I discovered this fact is I was going through my new diet list, and they kept mentioning couscous, and I'm more familiar with this kind. And I was like, that's not a whole grain. That's, it's basically pasta. And yeah, that's how I learned that couscous means 2 different things. But I'm going to eat the pasta kind, not the whole grain kind, because I'm stubborn like that. Next up, we have some popcorn seasoning. I have some really old kernels in there. I don't know how well they'll pop, but I plan on using them up because A, they count as a whole grain. There's fiber and stuff in there. And B, they're very snacky feeling, even though they're relatively healthy. Like, it's still corn, so it's not super, super healthy, but it's not bad for you to eat fresh made popcorn, especially if you keep the butter and fats down to a minimum. So I plan on trying to make some popcorn this month and embracing whatever fun snacks I can include. Next up, I have not one, but 2 packages of top ramen. This is sort of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's not very nutritious, but it qualifies for my GERD diet, so I think once in a while I'm allowed to eat it. Next up, we have some Better Than Bouillon chicken flavor. I've been going through this stuff like crazy. And the reason for that is I've been doing a voice class. In fact, this fancy dress that I'm wearing is my recital dress that I used on Tuesday of this week. And one of the things to help with your voice is drinking warm liquids. But tea is on my banned list for the GERD foods, and honestly, I don't know, it doesn't taste that good to me anymore. Maybe because my body knows it's not on the GERD approved list. I don't know. But anyways, so warm water by itself is pretty yuck. But I have found that if I put a little bit of bouillon in it and make it into salty water, it's pretty palatable. And that's what I've been doing to help me get through class. So class is over. We had our, well, it's not over, but we had our recital on Tuesday, and we have one final like feedback and etc. class next week, but then I can give my voice a break, which I think it could really use. Now we have our refrigerator stuff, which I am going to try to get through pretty quick. This video might be a bit on the short side, and that's because I made it a little too late in the day, and my guy is going to be coming home soon. And he gets all extra nervous when I'm trying to record, because I'm like, okay, just don't make too much noise. It's fine if you're moving around in the background. The neighbors do it anyways, right? Or I have leaf blowers, or there's always something going on. Like this video, it's the clicking of my Instapot, right? But it's just better to have it done before he gets home. So let's try to get through this as quick as we can. First up, some yogurt. Low-fat yogurt is on my approved list, and I have just been trying all the flavors. Like, here we have, that one was strawberry cheesecake, and this one is key lime crumble. They're a little more expensive to buy in the little flip packs that already include toppings. And I'm pretty sure I'll eventually switch to getting like a big tub of yogurt and buying toppings separately, just because I try to be very conscious of my budget. But while I'm still exploring what I can and cannot eat health-wise, I think it's an okay expense to have to try all the different yogurt flavors. Anyways, we've got some cream cheese. Generally, dairy, like high-fat dairy, is not on the GERD list, or it's a bad food item, rather. But, you know, a little bit here and there is not bad, and it's very good for thickening cream sauces. So, I got some. And I got some string cheese. This is for my guy, and once again, this is the second month in a row that the store brand, the Winco brand of cream cheese, was not available to me. So I'm wondering if they're having some issues there. And we've got one lovely cucumber that's definitely safe to eat. And I'm running out of room to throw stuff because I'm doing this so quickly. I haven't put anything away. It's a disaster if you look like right here on this stove. Anyways, we've got some green onions. Got some sprouts. These are just alfalfa. I wanted to get a different variety, but the one that I went for, I can't remember what was in it. I think there was like kale, alfalfa, and clover, I want to say. But it was a bit of an older batch, and the first one I picked up was moldy, so I was like, nope, not doing that. So today is just alfalfa, but sprouts are definitely on the approved list. Got some Italian parsley. That will be super important for the soup that's coming up here soon. Some more yogurt. This is mint chocolate chip flavor. Oh goodness, I'm really running out of room to put this stuff. I should put some of it away, but I'm like, can I get the video done before my guy gets home? Okay. Very crunchy bag. Just some pre-chopped romaine lettuce. I usually get whole romaine hearts. They last longer that way, but I'm still kind of dipping into all of my reserve energy just to, get through things like videos or grandpa days. That's a whole nother story. So yeah, pre-chopped is what I did this time around. And that finishes out that bag. We're on to our final bag. The only thing I bought for the freezer was just some freezer bread. And I actually used it last night because per my typical MO, I did the shopping separate from the video day because it's a bit overwhelming to do both. I've found in the same day. So this is our last bag. We're going to make it count. Yeah. And from that bag, we've got some good old Colby Jack cheese. This is my favorite cheese for making grilled cheese sandwiches with. I don't care for American too much, and I feel like cheddar, even the mild cheddar, is a bit too sharp. So Colby Jack it is for me. And then we have some kielbasa, which is kind of on the banned food list for my new GERD diet, but I'm gonna test the boundaries. I'm in the exploratory phase to see what triggers my tummy issues the most, and I'm gonna be sad if I have to cut out kielbasa. My family has a Polish background, and I've eaten a lot of it, so it's comfort food, right? So I'm hoping if I mix it with enough veggies and other stuff that it won't be too bad, but we'll see. Bacon is also a processed food, but I have discovered that I can eat it in very small portions, so there's some bacon right there, mostly because my guy would be very, very sad if on the weekends I didn't make him bacon for breakfast. And then we have some milk. I was supposed to get the 2% milk, and I got the whole milk out of habit. Fat is the enemy, apparently, right now for my tum-tum. But I think whole milk will be fine. And this is what I prefer. Like, 2% just tastes like slightly milky sugar water to me. I don't care for 2% too much, so I'm hoping that'll work out. And then we have even more yogurt. That's the last items. A cookies and creams flavor. And then a pack of almond cocoa loco. This has probably been my favorite flavor so far. It's a coconut flavored yogurt, which has honey roasted salted almonds and dark chocolate in it. It's pretty tasty and surprisingly only 150 calories for one pack, so pretty satisfying, I'd have to say, for 150 calories. And that is all of the groceries I bought, minus the freezer bread, which I told you about earlier, right? All right, so it's time to test myself. Out of 49 items that was on my forgotten, right? Forgotten grocery list, I remembered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Which out of 49 items means I forgot 11 of them and I will have to get them later. But, that's just how life goes sometimes, right? Optimism. That's that's on my notebook and that's the vibe I want to put out there. So, this means we are at the end of the video and all my favorite people know what that means. It means it's shout out time. A little thank you for everybody who commented. I got so much support after the last video. I was running on fumes when I made that video, and you guys just made me feel so comfortable and competent. Like I did the lighting wrong, and a couple of you are like, "Oh, I kind of like the, how homey it feels," and or how the, because this background's a little distracting, that just adds to an authentic vibe. And I don't know, you guys are just so awesome. If you guys weren't awesome, I would stop doing this like in a heartbeat. So keep being awesome. That's a threat. Shout out to Dulce Crystal, Traby Mamie, Amy Grace, Sharon Nelson, Sharon Hermit, Allison Hamblin, PJL, 2963, Scottish Whispers. There's another Allison Hamblin. Oh my, you're on it. So yeah, I'm not giant like some YouTubers, but I do have a community and I am very grateful for that and for you specifically. And I hope you have a good night. Nighty night.